worldwide. So what are your views on the education system? How is it, revolutionizing now on a world scale?
Understood. See, basically, I will also talk from my experience. I have had an interesting academic experience myself. So I did my schooling from Indore, and then I went to the United States for my engineering, and then I also did a student exchange program during my MBA at IIM Calcutta in Belgium, and I moved back to India to start this company. So having gone through all these, my first-hand experience suggests that one of the fundamental differences between the Indian education system and the global education system is the ability to provide options and flexibility and skills to choose from during one's academic journey. The Indian system, which used to be rigid, which is now becoming much more flexible with new introductions and new policies that are being brought in by the government, is definitely on the path to be more option and more student friendly, which is similar to the West. When I was in the US, you could take up options in engineering and at the same time do like an arts course with it. So, which made the overall study a 360-degree perspective and much more interesting and more rounded. And I think that is what is required here in our country as well, which is something that we are moving towards, which is the positive side of things. Yeah.
Right. So, if we talk about vocational training, so what are the areas which you see a differentiation between, let's say, being in US, the pattern there, and in Indian scenario?
Vocational training, I believe the practical aspect of study, which is more application oriented, is something that we need to bring in further. I'll give an example that when I was in engineering, there was a co-op program which helps a student take a 4-year engineering course, but it is interspersed with 2 semesters of a co-op internship, in which time you basically go to an actual industry or a company and work there. So that way you are absolutely being hands-on of what you studied and the concepts that you went through in your study, and apply them in the industry while you're being a student. So I believe the practical application and the orientation is something that we need to get further in our system as well. There are internships, there are practical projects which are part of the curriculum in India, but I believe that, having talked to a lot of freshers and we've interviewed many, that is still not being done as religiously as it should be. So I believe that is one area where we can get more hands-on, more pragmatic approach to education, which will ensure that once the graduate comes out of the system, we've always talked about employability. He or she is much more employable, much more market ready, and that way can deliver value to the employers that he or she is going to.
Right. So, last question will be that when you talk about technology, now technology is really blending in the education system today. So, what is your take on technology? What is the way forward?
Right. See, all of us see, we are running a technology company ourselves. It's called Serosoft, and we all see ourselves to be enabling the education process. And we are trying to do more with less with technology. I think that, in a sentence, sums up what technology is here to do. In a general basis, there are also new avenues which are being opened up, which were hitherto absolutely untouched. And that is where technology is making a paradigm or a disruptive shift. So those models are evolving. We talk about MOOCs, we talk about AR, VR. These are all disruptive patterns which we're seeing in the market. But at the end of the day, I believe that the human touch of the education and the learning will always be there, and technology will continue to augment that process in the classroom, outside, more so outside. Within the classroom, I believe that it should still be a human touch. And we will also see new ways in which education is delivered, learners get learned, and I think one aspect would be analytics, where people can really focus on understanding on their improvement areas and their strength areas based on technology, and further enhance the learning process that they go through.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.